What's going on, everybody? It's Pastor Broderick, and it is 6:45, and tonight you are about to experience another edition of this special series that we're doing in May called Her Story. Tonight, the speaker, the teacher, the preacher is my friend and one of our pastors, Teresa Gibson, and she is going to bring If you watching, you're now hearing that she is in front of a live audience. And so unlike when I teach and I get to have a room to myself, she has the pressure of eyes and ears being on her. While you watch, there are others watching and they are listening. And so to set this atmosphere for tonight and to go forward in this special night, we wanted to set the atmosphere with dance. And so as you watch right now, I want you to prepare your hearts and your minds and remember that you are safe in His arms.
Because the Lord is my shepherd, I have everything I need. He lets me rest in the meadow's grass, and then He leads me beside the quiet stream. He restores my failing hand.
Come on now, come on now.
And He helps me to do what honors Him the most. That's why I'm safe. That's why I'm safe. That's why I'm safe. When the storms of life are raging and the billows they roll, oh, they begin to roll, and I'm glad He shall hide me. I'm so glad, hide me. When the storms of life are raging and I can't find nowhere to go, God holds me, God keeps me safe. Say, I'm so glad, Thank you, Lord. Say, in His arms, in His loving arms, safe in His
Hi. Wow. Oh, my God, my God, my God, my God. It is good to be safe in His arms. Wow. All right, God. Here we go. Can we bow for prayer? God, how I thank you. This wasn't easy. Still not easy, God, but I thank you. Oh, God, I thank you for allowing the opportunity to just be safe in your presence. God, I'm safe in your arms. That means you got me. And you got this. So here I am, God. A sacrificial vessel, God. Just use me. God, remove Teresa Gibson out the way. Because there is a word from you. So allow your people to hear you and not me. God, remove the feelings, God, out of this thing, God, and touch right now. God, I declare deliverance on tonight. I declare healing on tonight. Chains are broken on tonight, God. God, and it is so. How we love you on tonight, God. How we worship you in spite of, God. So now, God, here I am. Use me. In your darling son's name. Amen. Y'all ready? All right, y'all know me. Everybody in here knows me. So, y'all already know how this is going to go. All right. It was hard for me to just research. It was hard for me researching the women of the Bible and just picking one pastor. It was hard because I could relate with all of them. You have Eve, created by God, lived in the Garden of Eden, wife of Adam, lived in perfect surroundings, had an ideal relationship, but had a conversation with the serpent who convinced her to disobey the command of God, which was, do not eat off the forbidden fruit, and ultimately getting the both Adam and Eve kicked out of the garden. I could identify with Eve, Mary, Khadijah, and Martha. Two women, two different approaches to worship. Mary sat at Jesus' feet, listening to him, while Martha was worried and distracted by the preparation of the guests. I can identify with Martha, but that's not my story. The woman at the well, the Samaritan woman, John said in chapter 4, tells the story of a Samaritan woman at the well, a woman known for making poor choices and past mistakes. That day she came face to face with Jesus, and her life was never the same. Confronted with the truth of her past and present. I can relate to the woman, but that's not my story. Rahab, the prostitute, because of her occupation, keeps her from being a Sunday school lesson, which we as Christians want to point out what she was and missed what she did. Rahab. The story of Rahab teaches us how to have empathy for the people with messy lives. I can identify with Rahab, but that is not my story. Vashti. Esther chapter 1. You all probably want to read this one when you get home. Esther chapter 1 tells a story of King Xerxes in the 3rd year of his reign, made a feast to celebrate with the leading men of his kingdom. He wanted to show off his riches and his glorious kingdom through a top-notch party. 180 days, 6 months, or you can say half a year. But to top it all off, he wanted to extend that thing for 7 more days. So he wanted to turn up for what? 7 more days. I'm sorry. Vashti, who also gave a party for the women in the king's palace. She was, as Khadijah said, minding the business that paid her. What she didn't know was that her life was about to change. She ain't know that, Lena. She ain't know it. Her alcohol-induced king/husband summoned her to come to him so the men there might see her beauty. You don't believe me? Listen, verse 11 in Esther chapter 1 says, he commanded them being the eunuchs, to bring Queen Vashti to him wearing her royal crown. You read that story when you get home. She was to come so that she could show her beauty to the leaders and important people. She was beautiful. Verse 12. But when the eunuchs told Queen Vashti about the king's command, she refused to come. Then the king was very angry. She refused because she didn't want to be put on display before a group of drunken men. Vashti thought she was defending her integrity. She likely knew that the potential of consequences of refusing a king, it was consequences for refusing. And then on top of all that, she got hijacked by King Boaz. Mehucan, one of the king's men, wanted to make Vashti an example, ultimately her taking a loss. She lost her position. She lost her crown, all because she said no. But setting the scene for Esther to come and fulfill her part of the story, I can identify with Vashti, but that is not my story. Y'all got it? Listen, in our meeting yesterday with Pastor B, he did it to me. Oh, wow. He challenged me. He challenged me to go home, take my time, labor for the Lord, and listen for a word. And I did just that. Matthew 14, chapter 14, verses 25 said, y'all read that when you get home, but I'm going to give you a slip portion of this. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them walking on a lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they was terrified. It's a ghost, they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid. 28, Lord, if it is you, Peter replied, tell me to come to you on the water. Now, many of you are wondering why during Women's Month, Teresa Gibson is standing up here reading a story about Jesus and his disciples.
Come on. You better come on. You better come on.
A boat of men on Women's Month. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad I got your attention. Because this is the place I'm in. This is my season, and this is my story. All right, y'all got it. In this story, I have 3 key points, and I promise y'all I'm almost done. 3 key points. I want to deal with a problem, encounter, ends in worship. A problem, an encounter with Christ that ends in worship. So the problem, everybody know that it was a what? A storm. Yeah, you know the story. It was a storm. Like many of you all are in your storm. Like I'm standing here right now in a storm. So you can relate to the storm. That may be your story, but it's the storm. You know the kind of storm that Yolanda Adams sings in her song when it says, the storm of life will blow. They're sure to come and go. Oh, they meet me at a time when I'm calm and doing fine. When I'm calm and I'm doing fine. This storm, you know, the storm that comes in life like a tornado, y'all. Let me tell you, this is my story. The storm that comes in life like a tornado just misplace everything. You know the storm that you thought, man, that I got this side together and this side want to mess up. God, that storm that you got this side together and that side want to mess up. And at some point, everything is. That storm. Oh, maybe you can't relate to that song. Maybe you can relate to Gregor O'Crest that says the storm that he was in, and he wrote about that even though your winds blow, I want you to know. Y'all know that song? You cause me no harm because I'm in his arms. Don't worry about it. I got it. Even though the rain, hey, I can still make this. Let there be. And now I can command, go away. I command you to. Y'all in the storm? Are y'all in a storm? Because y'all know those words. It's like y'all might have been singing that song before y'all got here tonight. Are y'all in a storm? That was the problem. Do you got your problem on your mind? Do you got your storm on your mind? Man. Wow. So we dealt with the problem. Now, let's deal with the encounter. So, why are you, Teresa, talking about Jesus and disciples and a boat? I'm glad you asked, because I'm finna tell you. The encounter. It says, Matthew 14:28 says, Lord, if it is you, Peter replied, tell me to come on the water. Verse 29 said, come. He said, do y'all know who said come? Y'all been to Sunday school. Jesus said, that was Jesus said. Peter asked, if it's you, tell me to come here. And Jesus did just that. All right, come. That's it. Just come. All right. Woo, Jesus. So, with that being said, I got a question for you. Peter asked. Jesus replied. Peter made the request known. Jesus replied with an answer. Now, my question for you, if Jesus told you to step out on the stormy waves, would you do it? Would you do it? Can y'all honestly say y'all would do it? But guess what? You ain't got to worry about it. Peter did it. Peter did it. Peter got out and walked on the water. Just like Jesus. He was walking just like Jesus. You know how we start off with stuff? I want to be just like Jesus. So I'm just going to walk just like Jesus. I want to be like just like Jesus. That's what I want to do, be just like Jesus. But Peter got distracted. He got distracted, y'all, by the waves and the winds of the storm. He did. He took his eyes. Y'all know the story. He took his eyes off of the answer. And he looked at his current situation, and guess what? Got scared. He took his eyes off the answer that was ahead of him, that was in front of him, the one that said, I am the way and the... And he got distracted and got scared. What distracted Peter? I don't know. Peter's, what are distracting y'all? Because I can tell you what distracted me in my story. I thought I had it together. I was walking, best friend. You know the story. I started out walking with the Lord, blessed and highly favored. That was me, just a walking with Jesus. And something got a hold of me. It wasn't the Holy Spirit. It was a spirit. Got a hold of me. Start tugging on my clothes. Y'all. And I started looking around, and they started winking at me, and I started winking at them, and I started shifting from left to right, and I got scared, y'all. I'm scared, y'all. Jesus all the time is saying, you asked for this. You asked for this. So come. Yeah. You wanted this. No, I didn't ask for this. I didn't want this thing, God. He can tell you we fought like crazy. God told me, God ain't told you. God told me, God ain't told you. Friend, God told me, God ain't told you. You wanted this. I didn't want this. It was the heart, because God knew what he had put it in my heart. It was a hard thing. My mouth said I didn't want it, but my heart said, beg me to come. So come on. Yeah, there was a fight between me and God, and we beefed just about an hour ago, and I said, all right, you win. I can't do this no more, because that storm that you sent to me like a couple of weeks ago, my power's still out. You know it? I'm still trying to recuperate from that last storm, and then nobody sent me no assistance, so I'm still trying to get myself together from the last storm. And you want me to still come? Man, let me tell you something. I'm going to put a pin there like you told me, Pastor. I'm going to put a pin there because here's my story. Let me tell you. Transparent because you know who I am. Let me tell you, I battled with this decision so much that because of me being disobedient, I had to stand still and watch my family go through it. Because I wouldn't surrender. God said, you think you got it. I'm going to ruffle up the winds and the waters. I'm gonna cause you to come running. I had to watch, and my family is here. I hope they don't beat me up after me saying this. But it's a blessing behind this lesson, y'all. Let me tell you. My family, I had to sit there because 2 weeks prior to that, my pastor pulled me in the office and said, God ain't playing with you no more. I can't play with you no more. I can't let you sit on your gift anymore. I said, give me time. I said yes a long time ago, but that wasn't the yes he wanted. I sat there and watched my sister, and everybody know us, we like this. They all right there. I sat there and watched. It's 4 girls and 2 boys. I'm the baby, y'all. I sat there and watched 3 of my sisters get affected by COVID-19. Not only affected by COVID, the husbands got affected. 5. Not only that, my cousins from Oklahoma got affected. And then on top of all of that, me being the baby, God, I'm the baby. They supposed to take care of me. I can't make sure they good. They supposed to make sure I'm good. Sat there the same week where they couldn't come out the house. Watched my mama step in her grave 1 good foot. 1 good foot. And I'm saying, God, you're going to take the woman from me. I'm not ready for this. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? My sister called me crying, forgot that she couldn't come outside, but she was coming. I said, baby girl, you can't come outside. I got this. I'm going to go check on mama. But all the time I'm saying, what do you want? While we was at the hospital, as you know about the process now with COVID, you can't go in there with your loved ones. You have to wait. You have to wait. You have to wait in the car and wait on a call. You see that? You have to wait on a call to say everything is all right. So you know what? I waited and I cried and I waited and I cried and I waited. And I said, what do you want from me? Man, God, you go all of my sisters. Can't nobody come and help me with my mama. And on top of all that, you going to affect my mama? What do you want from me? Yeah, he said, come on, girl. Come. Surrender. The song came on the radio, said, say yes. Right in that moment, you just got to say yes. That's the kind of storm that'll cause you to just stop and focus. My God, what do you want from me? Question. We know that Peter asked God, if it's you, tell me to come. And he did just that. He said, come. And we know that Peter started stepping with Jesus, but then he realized that, wait a minute, This thing is too much. Peter, the fisherman that should already know about the waters. That is not nothing new to Peter because he was a fisherman. But he got scared. Why are you scared when Jesus already told you who he is and what he wants you to do? Why are you scared? Ask your neighbor, why are you scared? You already know. You already know what Jesus, you already know Jesus. You already know what he's capable of. You already know that he has all power in his hand. Why are you still scared? Okay, so that was an encounter. We dealt with the problem, which was the storm. Now we had the encounter, which Peter said, beg me to come. Jesus said, come. All right. Now we finna deal with the end of it, and I'm almost done. Peter got out on the boat, walked on the water, came towards Jesus, but when he saw the winds, he was afraid and began to sink and cried out, Lord, save me. Yeah. Can I tell y'all on verse 31 said, immediately Jesus reached out his hands, caught him. He said, you of little faith. He said, why did you doubt? Can I tell y'all about worship? The last thing is worship. When you go through the storm, you have that encounter with God. Now he wants to know, can you worship me? Can you worship? Wow. The Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir, y'all know I love music. So I pull music to help with the stories, help with my story. The Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir says, this song said, so you will know. And the verses goes like this. How many times must I prove how much I love you? How many times must my love for you I show? How many times must I rescue you from trouble for you to know just how much I love you? The chorus said, didn't I wake you up this morning? Were you clothed and in your right mind? When you walked on these problems, didn't I step in on time? When you got weak along life's journey, my angels carried you so you would know just how much I love you. So, with that being said, worship. Worship. That should be easy for us because he just proved himself to Peter. He just proved himself being mighty. He just proved himself. But how many times do he have to prove himself for you to worship him? How many? How many? That's a personal question. What else do he have to do for you to trust in him and not doubt him? What else do he have to do for you to turn your life around? What else can I say? He already has proven himself. Now it's time for you to worship. Worship him for not what he's done, but for the stature, for who he holds, the position in your life. You should already be worshiping him. Man. You shouldn't have to be pumped and primed just to give God what is due. Just because he woke you up is a reason to Worship him. Yeah, I can give him hand gestures all day, but he wants to know from the fruit of your lips how much you adore him. That's all it is. How much he means in your life. And side note, when you go to a restaurant, you can't just sit. I told this to my husband. When you go to a restaurant, and I'm done, Pastor. When you go to the restaurant, you just can't sit at a table and expect food to come to you. Do you think you can walk into a restaurant, sit there, and they already know what you want? We know God is all-knowing. We know he already knows. But you still in a restaurant have to order something. You can't expect it to be dropped on your plate and you ain't asked for it. So, when you sit at the table, when you look on the menu and you order what you want, say you get it and it's good. What you do? You say, thank you for your service. Thank you. Because this was just for me. Thank you. This is how I asked for you to prepare this. Thank you. So that's all worship is telling God, ta-ta. I thank you. I adore you. I worship you, not for me, but for who you are in my life. And that is, my friends, my story.